welcome into our coverage of the AP Top 25 reaction. This was a very, very crazy week of college football. A lot of upsets, a lot of close games. The game I went to Iowa City to see the Penn State team beat Iowa. Let's put on my unlucky headband right now. Okay, let's put that on. So right off the bat, you got in the also receiving votes: Tennessee, Wake Forest, Oregon, Kansas State, Minnesota, UCF, Colorado, Cal, Stanford, Iowa, Memphis, Florida State, Texas Tech, Duke, and NC State. I think NC State should be ahead of LSU. It's 5 votes different. Mississippi State, I think, should be unranked. They got just steamrolled by Georgia. Now they gave Georgia the benefit of the doubt. They gave Georgia a lot of credit instead of Mississippi State discredit. LSU and Mississippi State should both be out of the poll, and NC State Tech should be in. Obviously, Texas Tech, they can really prove themselves with a win over Oklahoma State this week. Oklahoma State, well, the 15th in the country. So LSU, Mississippi State, these games, not games, there's no games in there. I don't know what I'm talking about. These should be lower again. West Virginia, I agree. They haven't lost since their first game. I think 23 is a good spot for them. Notre Dame, again, they gave Georgia a lot of credit. Notre Dame's not bad. Georgia's just good this year. Florida, 21. They fell a spot. Florida almost barely beat Kentucky. Utah, I think, should be a little bit higher. San Diego State, probably where they should be, around 19. You usually, as well as South Florida, you usually don't see these group of 5 teams higher than 15. Louisville, they took care of business. They are at 17. Wash State's at 16. Oklahoma State at 15. Now I think Oklahoma State's really, they traded between Oklahoma State and TCU. The reputation of those teams. Miami, I think Miami should have fallen a little bit. The first half against Toledo was unacceptable. Wash State, did they beat? They won. I know that. I don't know who Wash State beat. Auburn, they're moving up 2 spots. Virginia Tech moves up a spot. Ohio State again dropping a spot. They had a really good game against UNLV. I don't see why they dropped a spot but the reason they did is because the other teams are moving up. I think this is like the second straight week they've dropped, as well as Wisconsin. They just keep dropping. Until we get into really deep Big Ten play, we're going to keep seeing these teams drop. Michigan stays at 8. TCU at 9. I think TCU should be higher than 9. They should be ahead of Georgia right now. Washington at 6. They started a little bit at Colorado, but it's what you expect. They got out of there with a win. Pretty big win. SC at 5. Penn State at 4. I don't know why Penn State isn't dropping. They Now, the bigger surprise is Oklahoma. Oklahoma should draw. Our top 5 are the same exact thing. The same exact as we had last week. Now, what's the highest ranked team that has a loss? That's Ohio State. Oklahoma, did you not see their game? Like the Oklahoma Baylor game. Baylor is probably the worst team in the conference. And they barely won. Oklahoma should be lower. Penn State should be lower. USC should be higher. USC. Wash should be higher. All these teams. Now, it's a bigger deal down late in the stretch of college football playoff. All these teams are 4-0, so they're all really close. I don't think Washington gets enough credit for what they've done. They went to Rutgers and got a win in week 1. Wisconsin got a bye week this week. So if you're expecting some good college football next week, these are our big marquee matchups next week. Vanderbilt, Florida, 11 a.m. Central, all-time Central, that I'm about to say, on ESPN. Northwestern, Wisconsin, 11 on ABC. North Carolina and Georgia Tech, 11 on ESPN2. Georgia, Tennessee, 2:30 on CBS. Florida State, Wake Forest, 2:30 on ABC. Indiana, Penn State, 2:30 on BTN. Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, that is 7 o'clock on Fox. Clemson, Virginia Tech, that is 7 o'clock on ABC. And USC, Washington State, that's Friday night. Friday night, not Saturday night. Friday night at 9:30 on ESPN. So these are some big Saturday matchups. Again, our coverage begins over on SN at 9 a.m. Or, yes, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. preview all of these games except for USC, Washington State. USC, Washington State will preview Friday on SN. School over on SM. But this is a big week of college football. Vandy, Florida, that should be a good one. Indiana, Penn State should be a good one. Clemson, Va-Tech. Like, we've got some good matchups this week. Even Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. There's so many matchups that you must watch. But stay tuned next Saturday. We'll have a lot to talk about. Saturday, the 30th, the final day in September. The 5th week of college football. Again, our coverage 9 a.m. Central Time. Again, let's go back to the poll. Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Penn State, USC, Washington, Georgia, Michigan, TCU, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Virginia Tech, Auburn, Miami of Florida, Oklahoma State, Washington State, Louisville, South Florida, San Diego State, Utah, Florida, Notre Dame, West Virginia, Mississippi State, LSU. For our entire SN crew, J-Rod saying, see you Saturday, and we'll see you Saturday for SN College Football today, right here. We're over on SN, and then right here Sunday for SN, the next reaction show. And really quickly, see when the college football playoff See when they start. Okay, so October 31st will be the first college football playoff. So October 31st will be the first college football playoff. So we'll do AP until... How many weeks of AP we got? Come on, calendar. We've got 1, 2... Oops. Yeah, 1, 2, 3... 4 more AP weeks. So that'll bring us up to 9 total coverages here on SN. What is this? We're under 100 days away from the college football playoff. And for our entire crew, Jared saying so long.